Hey guys, Max2015 here. Welcome back to another episode of Boom Beach. It is a pretty good weekend because it's Tank Mania, not Tank Mania, I'm sorry, TMED Mania. So tanks and medics are all 90% off this weekend, so it has been great because I've been using them a lot this weekend. They've been working pretty well. So we're gonna watch a couple of replays. I don't have live gameplay, but I kind of recorded myself playing the game so we can go over some of those attacks with you guys. And fair warning right now, I still have this cough that's been killing me. It's been waking me up for the last few days, and I will probably be coughing mid-video, so there's my apology ahead of time to you guys. So anyhow, let's get into some of these attacks because some of these are pretty good. So the first base here is Eduardo, number 1. I don't know, probably number 1 in his country or whatever he's from. But this was a really nice, easy base to start off with because it was only two boosted ice statues, both of them boosted. Not a big deal with a shock blaster in the front. I was just kind of scouting it first, and then we just kind of went in. TRM, of course, because you guys know I never really use TMED myself because it doesn't work well for me. I need the rifles to kind of absorb some of the shots for me there. So notice also we're going with 2 boats of riflemen because I've also found out that they kind of work well for me. It really depends on the type of base, but in this particular instance, 2 boats of rifles helped a lot. It also works well to my advantage that using 2 bolts of rifle leaves me a little bit of extra gunboat energy because I don't have to use up all of my gunboat energy on deploying the tanks. So right there you guys can see the first bolt of rifles is already gone just by landing the guys on the beach. So the base was actually pretty gnarly, even with the little bit of ice that he had. So but fortunately we haven't lost any of the tanks yet. Boy, there's the cough. But once we make a pretty good dent into the base, we put down the second boat of rifles on the left side there and start flaring them a little bit to the left wall there. Notice that we've already gotten rid of 2 of the boom cannons, which really helps, and then we have to slowly work our way up into the base. A pack of critters right behind the cannon to obviously distract the one cannon because it can still do a lot of damage on the tanks, and we were just buying the rifles enough time for them to get onto the base there. Once we're into position, you guys can see we have a lot of riflemen right in front there. I had to shock the rocket launcher and the mortar because those would obviously kill the riflemen really quickly, and then just let the tanks do all the damage back there. Once we got most of the boom cannons, we're down with 1 boom cannon and 1 shot launcher, which are the biggest issues here. At this point, I didn't do anything just yet because I needed my tanks to finish up that 1 cannon. I kind of try to time the flare in there, but I flared it a little bit prematurely, so nothing I could do. I had to just throw an artillery shell to finish it off. Right now, I was just counting on the sheer number of tanks that I had to finish off the base. So once they took down the boom cannon, I flare again to the shot launcher there, and then once that thing went away, I just flare my tanks to a safe spot away from that 1 cannon, try to protect the medics as best as I could. My God, this has been absolutely non-stop coughing. And it's been waking me up. I even took NyQuil last night, which absolutely knocked me out unconscious. But man, waking up after taking NyQuil is just horrific because you wake up so groggy, completely, groggy and doozy. I don't know what I'm trying to say, doozy. You just don't wake up very comfortable. So I had to have a good cup of coffee to kind of try to wake me up. And even then, I still felt like I wasn't myself for the longest time. But anyways, we can continue on going. You guys can see it's taking my troops a little bit of time to take down the shield, but eventually the thing did come down, and we still had a lot of time left, like 1 minute and 15 seconds left, and I still had a pretty good number of tanks. Where is it? 2, 4, 6, 9 tanks and 4 medics still taking down the HQ. So it really wasn't much of a challenge. This was the first try, obviously, on this base, and like I said before, 2 ice statues really doesn't make much of a difference nowadays. And obviously, I did go in with full statue boost, so 4 of my offensive statues boosted. Man, if you're wondering why I haven't posted a video since yesterday about Boom Beach, it's mainly because of this cough, also because it's been so bad recently. Anyway, second base here, corner base with a laser beam. A lot of these have been very popular recently, and I myself used one of these bases recently. So I put down. Also notice I went in with only 1 bolt of rifles this time because I needed the extra bit of firepower. So take down the 1 boom cannon that was in the middle there because that one was going to pose a big threat later. The rifles are doing a great job at absorbing all the shots from those 2 cannons and the boom cannon. Unfortunately, they were coming down really fast, so I needed to throw some critters up on the one cannon up there, so to see if I could distract the boom cannon, but it really didn't. And I lost a couple of tanks there. Threw more critters, and they really didn't last long enough, so I was forced to throw a shock there. I was really trying to save my shocks as much as possible, so I could shock the one shot launcher in the corner there behind the HQ at the very end, but since the raid wasn't working out the way I wanted, I had to kind of improvise and throw shocks while I needed them. Notice that this base was actually a pretty beefy one with 6 ice statues, 5 of them boosted, so it wasn't to be taken too lightly. As soon as the laser beam went down, I felt a little bit better, and my tanks were actually making a pretty good dent into the base. Just some more critters. I was hoping it would distract the one-shot launcher, but it kind of did it too late. And as soon as the shield generator came down, oh yeah, I was low on battery, so that kind of got recorded there. You're gonna see a few of those tonight, I think. But anyways, once the tanks took down enough defenses, I had to flare up to the top because that second boom cannon on the bottom right there was starting to come into play. So I had to flare them upwards and try to get my tanks a little bit of time there. Also notice that with tanks, the biggest issue on every raid is always time. There were a few bases that I attacked earlier today where I kind of just timed out and I wasn't able to destroy the HQ within the what is it, 4 minutes that they give you nowadays. So I always hate when you're coming down to a few seconds and like you got the base, you know you're gonna defeat it, but then the time is the one thing that beats you, and it really sucks because it takes you a long time to get there. So anyhow, that's the problem with tanks because they're just so slow, so you just have to kind of make do with what you can. Right there, safe enough for one shot. I was trying to debate whether I should put it on the cannon or the shot launcher, but being that the cannon can actually kill your tanks, the shot launcher will only halt them, but it won't actually kill the tanks, so that's why I decided to throw it on there. And then because they were somewhat spread out a little bit, then I kind of just went with the cannon. And at this point there was really not much else for me to do. I didn't have much more gunboat energy for anything. Except for medkits or one more artillery, but the artillery shell on its own wasn't going to do anything. Fortunately, the one shot launcher just got fixated on those 3 tanks on the upper corner there, so the ones on the bottom were free to shoot, so that really worked out well for me. Threw some smokes to celebrate the win there. This base took me like maybe 2 tries, I think, so not too bad. But it was actually a pretty good win, so I was pretty pleased with it. I had a lot of ice though. I mean, 6 ice statues, 5 boosted. It's definitely a lot. And remember that I went in with 4 offensive statues only. So my current base, double shielded. Got a few defenses there, here and there. This base here, I'm not sure what the name says. But he used to be a really high level player, like 17 or 1800 victory points. He used to be number 5 or 6 in the world, and now he's down to 1512 victory points, which is less than what I have. And he's already changed all his ice statues to 4 statues, and only the masterpieces were boosted. So as you can expect, it was going to be a very easy raid. This again, same thing, corner base with a laser beam. I went in again with 1 bolt of rifles. I think it's because that's what I had trained from before, so I kind of just went with it. I mean, if I was able to take down the previous base with 6 ice statues, then this one with only 4 wasn't going to be a big deal. And out of the 4, only the masterpieces were boosted, so I went in like full of confidence this time. I haven't lost any tanks to this point, and 2 of the boom cannons are pretty much down, so I just needed my tanks to kind of move in a little bit more. Had to throw a shock on that 1 boom cannon on the top there because that thing was going to pick off a few of my tanks, so I just had to be a little patient. Threw some critters in there in the hopes that we was going to destruct the boom cannon, which it did, but because of the rocket launcher on the top there, it didn't last. The critters didn't last as much as I would have liked to. However, the tanks were able to take it down, so that just worked out for me. And from then on, there was really nothing except for that 1 mortar and the 3 rocket launchers that were shooting at my tanks. So I wasn't too concerned. I just needed them to take down the shield generator first. I did throw a shock on the shot launcher because those tanks, the 5 tanks that were trying to take down the shield, they would have never made it if the shot launcher kept on shooting in there. Then again, it's the same as the previous attack, just reflare them back And I had so much gunboat energy at this point, like 90 something or 86. So I decided to take down the one rocket launcher in the bottom, because when you have 3 rocket launchers laying down on you, you know, the damage does kind of pile up. So that's why I decided to do it. I was still trying to save all of my shocks for the cannons and the shot launcher at the end there. And if I remember correctly, we won this raid, but it kind of came down a little bit close in the end, so we'll see. One shock launcher, one shock bomb on the shock launcher. That'll also stop the cannon and the boom cannon there, which worked well. See, the pack of critters on the top, that's exactly what I wanted them to do. I want the critters to really last long, so the single shooters will actually, you know, spend a lot of time looking at them. That shot was a little bit delayed there, and the one boom cannon did take a shot, but anyways, you just gotta keep on going. We still have a lot of tanks in here. We still have 2, 4, 6, 8, 11 tanks, which is a ton. I mean, you're going in with, I think, 18 tanks or so. So 11 tanks is actually a pretty great number, and I still have so much gunboat energy that I was still able to keep on shocking the shot launcher at the end there. So there goes one more shock. I don't think I flare at this point, because I made that mistake on one of the tries before, and I think I lost it because of time. Because once you reflare, all the tanks kind of bunch up together too closely, and then the shot launcher would just keep on shocking you, and then nothing was going to happen there. So pretty happy with that. And then we can move on to the next attack. Alright guys, so this is a new segment that I'll see if we can put into the channel, which is where I can review somebody else's base based on the first one that I did before, and people seem to have liked it, so I've gotten a couple of requests. So let's try to dedicate at least 1 to 2 minutes tops on a random episode to somebody else's base. So this person here contacted me through YouTube, El Perla Negra, which is the first person here, the highest one in here with 1144 victory points. The name of the task force is Argensur, I think it is, because it's in Spanish, so I'm going to guess it from Argentina. El Perla Negra is asking how can he get to, what is it, number 1 of his country. I'm going to guess Argentina is your country. He's at 1144 victory points. He's number 3 in his country. Number 2 is 1185, and the number 1 is 1220. So he wants to see how he can get to number 1 in his country. So first of all, just by looking at his base, he is a maxed out player, which is great. The biggest mistake I'm seeing is that he is a full 10 offensive statue base, all offensive statues with a PSE in here, and you have 2 shield generator 2s in there, which honestly I don't think that will work ever. And I've said it many times, double shields do not work unless you have 5 or more ice. That's my honest opinion. Even a double shielded base with 4 boosted ice, I can still take out very easily with 3 offensive statues. So I don't think two shield generators will work unless you put down some ice. So if you're gonna keep it this way, I'll suggest put down a laser beam or a shock blaster to try to minimize, or actually maximize, the body count when you're defending. And if you're talking about putting some ice, because he says that he has about 300 power powder and is thinking about it, I would say get rid of the power stone chance, because you already have 300 power powder, so you should be good for a little while. And seriously, I don't think you need 6 gunboat energy statues. That's just a little too many if you ask me. I do that with 1 statue. If you can put 2 ice statues and just keep those boosted for a little while, I can guarantee you'll get to 1200 victory points in about 3 weeks time, maybe a month top. But you can certainly do it. You can get to the number 1 spot in your country. But that's just my honest opinion. I don't think this layout particularly is very well, and in any case it's not well sorted out, because the position of the shields, they're just asking to be destroyed in here. So go ahead, Perla Negra, try to make the changes and let me know how your push goes. Good luck there. I think this base has 7 ice statues if I remember correctly. 7 ice statues, but only the 2 masterpieces were boosted. Of course that still means it's quite a bit of boost, 7 ice statues. Corner base, laser beam, and so same tactic, well, similar tactic. This time I went back in with 2 bolts of rifles, and you guys can see because I kept on losing all of my rifles in the beginning there. So I took down 1 boom cannon, and as soon as I got enough gunboat energy, I lay down on the remaining boom cannon behind the HQ there. I was confident, or well, trying to be confident that my rifles were going to buy my tanks a lot of time and distract those cannons so that the tanks could just clear up all the defenses in the front there. The problem with the laser beam is that it does cut through your rifles pretty pretty gnarlyly. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm sick and I'm under the influence of a lot of cold medicine. What I was trying to say is that the laser beam does it's too dangerous to rifles, even though it doesn't kill them in one shot. But once the laser beam cuts through all your rifle, it leaves them with a tiny sliver of health, and then with one rocket from the rocket launchers, and you lose all of them. So that's why I had to go in with 2 bolts of rifles this time. At this point, once I reflared, that's when I decided to put down the second bolt of rifles, so I could start tackling the base from the upper left corner there. You guys can see all these little ice guardians behind those trees where the tanks are. I think we're gonna have to rethrow another flare, because once the first flare runs out, the rifles will start approaching the closest target. So they're starting to scatter a little bit too much for my taste, so I had to reflare them, which made me waste a couple of gunboat energy, but it didn't matter. Oh my god, guys, I'm so sorry for that. I wish I could stop coughing, believe me. Anyways, once there, all of the rifles are already where I wanted them to be. So everybody in front of the tanks, so the shot launcher, the boom cannon, and even the rocket launchers, everything would start targeting the rifles rather than the tanks. So they did buy me a few seconds, at least enough for me to, for my troops to advance a little bit closer and closer into the base. And right about there, I think I could have waited a couple more seconds, but anyways, I just threw the shock on the shot launcher, boom cannon there. There's still a few rifles in there, so that was good, because they were going to distract the boom cannon just, for just long enough for me to take it down. And then right here, we still had one more boom cannon to deal with, so I had to shock there. Shock the shot launcher and boom cannon combo in there. I still had a pretty decent amount of tanks, and I got enough for another shock, so that's exactly what I was going to use again. The one cannon on the side there, well, not much I could do. I just had to flare, rely on the sheer numbers, and just take down the one boom cannon, let them take down the cannon, and then I think we're gonna flare. Oh no, actually no, we didn't flare. On one of the attempts before, I did flare, and that's what got me killed, because like I said before, once you flare, that shot launcher will start shocking all of your tanks together. So I didn't flare. I kind of let them stay where they were, just threw med kits, because that's all I could afford, and just let the tanks do the work. I mean, we were down to 40 seconds, which is still like a lot of time, but I didn't have too many tanks left. We're down to 5 tanks, and I think we're going to lose one more before the raid's over. If I remember, yeah, right there, one more. Did we lose a tank? Oh no, we lost a medic, sorry. Alright, so the base did go down. I mean, it did took me a few tries though. This wasn't like a 1 or 2 try thing. It took me more than that. But it didn't matter. I was just happy that it took him down. Alright guys, so that'll be it for this video. TRM. Take advantage of TMED mania, because it's only costing me like 100 grand, not even, like 80,000 gold for the base and for the troops, and then it's just 30 diamonds or so to retrain them. So great time to attack. All right guys, so go ahead and try yourself. I'll see you guys next time, guys. Bye.